Now on News 4 Today, we're getting a glimpse inside the terrifying aftermath of a shooting inside D.C.'s busy Metro Center station. This morning, a person is dead and witnesses are telling their stories. What we know about the lead up to the shots and how one witness says her active shooter training prepared her for this moment.
Plus, a change in command just days after Loudoun County superintendent was fired. We're learning more about who could replace him, the candidate being discussed right now, and when he could take control of the school system.
And the holidays are fast approaching, so what do you get the person who spends most of their time behind the wheel? Susan Hogan is working for you with the best gifts for the drivers in your life.
News 4 Today starts now.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to News 4 Today. It's Thursday, December 8th, 2022. I'm Lynn Yang.
And I'm Jummy Olabanji at 6 o'clock this morning. Good morning to you. We saw some heavy fog overnight as we were driving into work.
Yes,
the good news is that is kind of cleared up. And Chuck says the sun might even make an appearance today.
Nice. Melissa Malay staying on top of everything going on our area roadways with your first 4 traffic.
All right, let's get a check of that forecast, though, with Storm Team 4 meteorologist Chuck Bell. All right, Chuck, what's the latest?
All right, the fog is still a bit of a problem for parts of northern Maryland and the Shenandoah Valley. The water crossing some of those deep sheltered valleys, it's still an issue. But you can tell here from our tower camera, we can see all the way down to the monument, past the cathedral, and over there to Capitol Hill. So the Capitol Dome is about 4 or 5 miles straight line distance from us. So visibility not an issue here in Northwest, but there are still areas with some thick fog, drier air. North wind is bringing drier air, and so that is really starting to chew up the fog, which is welcome news. A little bit of sunshine, I think, for your Thursday, and perhaps even some more on your Friday. No rain. The pavement is dry, but that's the good news. Visibility still 0 from Luray all the way down to Stanton and Harrisonburg this morning. 1/3 of a mile in Frederick, Maryland, 1.5 miles down in southern Maryland. But these visibilities were all under a mile when I was getting ready for work this morning about 2 o'clock. So it's an improving picture, but still use caution this morning. Temperatures have dropped mostly into the mid-40s around town. The only spot that was below 40 a minute ago was Culpeper. Now Frederick, Maryland also down into the 30s. So a chilly start, but not a bad day today. Peaks of sunshine, temperatures low to mid-50s. More about Friday and your weekend forecast coming up.
First 4 traffic alert here this morning. We are finally open on 66. So eastbound 66 at 123 had a crash investigation. That's now clear. The express lanes open as well. 95, no problem on 95. Outer loop after New Hampshire Avenue, left side blocked by an accident, and outer loop at Colesville, multiple disabled vehicles there. As we take a look at 270 southbound here, as you approach 109, have a little bit of a delay, and then top of the Beltway, outer loop approaching New Hampshire again. That's going to be one of your slower spots. 95, BW Parkway, all looking okay this morning. We're going to take a look at those travel times coming up.
All right, Melissa, thank you. Developing this morning, Metro riders are on high alert after a shooting inside the Metro Center station.
One person is dead and a federal officer was taken to the hospital. That officer fired his gun. We've learned he was an FBI agent who was off duty.
This morning, we're getting a look at the chaos inside the station after the shooting and before police swarmed the scene.
We do have a warning. Some viewers may find the video disturbing.
Anyone a doctor around here? Do you need medical assistance?
Anybody a doctor?
I have bullets here. I'm going to start CPR.
Now, we should note the FBI agent can be heard saying his name in that video, but we are waiting for official confirmation from the agency. We're also working to learn who was the person shot and killed.
News 4's Juliana Valencia joins us now live from Metro Center with the latest on the investigation. Juliana, good morning.
Hey there, this just had to be so terrifying for riders last night. One witness described it to us as a zombie apocalypse after those shots were fired with everyone running. And this happened during rush hour just before 6:30 p.m. on the platform of the Glenmont-bound Red Line. And police say a man and an off-duty FBI agent, they got into a fight, and then the two of them fell about 8 feet over a wall away from the tracks at the end of the platform. Now, this struggle, it continued and shots were fired. And by phone, a man who was on the platform near the shooting describes a scene of absolute chaos in a very crowded station.
As the red line train was about to pass through for us all to get on, there were multiple shots fired over and over. Everyone started running and trying to get out. But people were getting trampled.
The FBI agent did suffer minor injuries from that fall and was taken to a hospital, and the man he shot did die. We're still working to find out what led up to this fight, and D.C. police is investigating. But, you know, Jummy and I, just such scary moments for all those riders out there last night.
Can't even imagine being there. Juliana Valencia live for us outside Metro Center. Thank you.
The Loudoun County School Board will hold a meeting today to appoint an interim superintendent. The board fired Superintendent Scott Ziegler Tuesday, just a day after a special grand jury blasted the school district's handling of 2 sexual assaults by the same student. News 4's Dominique Moody joins us now live with the latest. Dominique, good morning.
Good morning. A lot of twists and turns for Loudoun County Public Schools, and today they will be ushering in new leadership for the district after that special grand jury report. Now, in that report, it stated that the administrators actually put their interests ahead of LCPS after there were 2 sexual assault incidents in which it happened at 2 different schools with one same student. We also know that the school board took action this week by firing Superintendent Scott Ziegler. The grand jury accused Ziegler of lying about the first assault at a school board meeting in June of 2021. Here's what you need to know about the new interim superintendent. He is Dr. Daniel Smith. He's a former principal. He was appointed chief of staff back in April inside of the district. He has 16 years of principal experience, and he picked up degrees from James Madison University and UVA. Now, News 4 will be here later this evening at 6:45 for that meeting, and we know that there is no public comment. Back to you.
All right, Dominique Moody live for us this morning. Thank you, Dominique. We spoke to students in Loudoun County who say Ziegler's firing is a start, but much more needs to be done. This week, the school board said it would start implementing recommendations made in that special grand jury report, things including improving communication and reviewing the process for students who are transferred for discipline. Earlier this year, the district also voted to overhaul the disciplinary policy for students accused of serious offenses, but some students say that's not enough.
We need to have a plan implemented to help prevent this from happening again. We need to have protocol for teachers to follow, for students to follow. We can't just go to the principal and have them do nothing.
According to his contract, since Ziegler was fired without cause, he will receive severance pay of 1 year's salary.
Later this morning, Metro's new general manager will present his first budget ever to the Metro board. It calls for more trains and more buses. News 4's Millette Green is in the newsroom with why that could also mean a change in fares that we all pay. Millette, good morning.
That's right. One of the major goals of this new budget proposal is to get riders back on the system. Metro ridership is increasing, especially with the Silver Line extension, but not to pre-pandemic levels. The highlights include an increase in bus frequency by building what Metro is calling a better bus network, an increase in rail frequency, especially at core transfer stations downtown. That would reduce crowding and wait times, and then a simplified fare structure starting with a $2 base fare at all times, eliminating the peak and off-peak periods. Metro's general manager says the proposal addresses problems today and in the future.
What I'm trying to do is, Randy Clark, the general manager, has a set of conditions to run the system today. But I'm also trying to create, and I think, some energy around it. Let's have a big discussion about what we want Metro to be.
Now, the budget also includes help for low-income riders. People who qualify for SNAP would be eligible for half-off fares. This is all just a proposal, and the public will have a chance to weigh in. The earliest any of these changes would take effect is July. Back to you now.
All right, Millette, thank you.
Speed cameras are going up in parts of Fairfax County. The Board of Supervisors approved a new pilot program that will allow police to put the cameras in school and work zones. According to our news partners at WTOP, 10 cameras will be installed for at least 6 months. If the program is successful, it will be extended. Fines will range from $50 to $100, and the cameras could be up and running by February 1st.
Well, happening today, the end of an era for RFK Stadium.
Mayor Muriel Bowser and Events DC will mark the ceremonial removal of the last orange wooden seats from RFK's lower bowl. The stadium, which opened in 1961, is set to be demolished by the end of next year. Last month, Events DC kicked off the Farewell RFK Stadium project, and part of the proceeds from the sale of the stadium seats and memorabilia will benefit the Boys and Girls Club and St. Coletta of Greater Washington. Man, a lot of memories from RFK for so many people who live here.
Those seats used to move.
Yes, the whole stadium.
Yes. Oh, my goodness.
6:09 now. Next on News 4 Today. Time is running out to enroll for your own health care insurance.
Yeah, and the number of people who are signing up for the health exchange continues to grow every year. We're working for you this morning with how you can make those payments a little more affordable.
Plus, we're continuing our series on holiday gifts. Susan Hogan has the best gifts for drivers that won't break the bank.
And after a couple of days with clouds and raindrops and fog, today's going to be a little bit better day for you. Temperatures are going to be in the mid-50s today. That north wind is helping to bring in some drier air, so there's a chance that once we get rid of the fog, you're actually going to get a little Thursday sunshine. More about that, plus your weekend and the 10-day coming up.
Time is running out to enroll for health care insurance next year if you are covering yourself. The last day to sign up is December 15th. According to the National Association, America's Health Insurance Plans, nearly 14 million Americans buy their own insurance, and that number continues to grow. Experts say there are ways to make the options more affordable.
Many people who buy their own insurance qualify for subsidies in the individual market. In fact, many Americans will see $0 premiums because of these subsidies, and about 4 in 5 customers will be able to get a plan for $10 or less a month for their premium.
AHIP shared these tips. Use the healthcare.gov website to compare plans and see if you qualify for subsidies. And check to see if the plan covers your preferred provider and any medication you take regularly. All right, well, they may not be the flashiest gifts, but chances are they could be practical and appreciated.
Yeah.
We're talking about automated gifts for drivers.
And who better to recommend some winners than the car experts at Consumer Reports? Here's Susan Hogan.
You've seen the commercials, but not every gift rolls into your driveway with a big red bow. So what do car lovers really want this holiday season? Well, we asked the experts at Consumer Reports Auto Test Center for their personal recommendations. So here's what they'd want or buy for the car enthusiast and their life.
A great gift is a headlight restoration kit. I actually got one for my son this year. Don't tell him, but they're easy to apply and can give someone back their nighttime visibility.
I would give them tickets or coupons to their local car wash. If you live in a snowy area, keeping all that salt off the paint is really good to help protect the paint, but also washing the underside to help keep everything underneath clean and free of corrosion.
A really nice thing to get actually is called a battery maintainer. Whether or not you're hybrid or remote working, or you have that special project car, you make sure that battery doesn't go dead on its own, and when you do need that car, it'll start right up.
I would want a set of good floor mats. This is our tire test car, and we have the WeatherTech floor mats that are molded to the specific vehicle. They work great, keep the mud and dirt out, and make it easy to clean.
Last year, I bought all of my siblings a emergency roadside assistance kit. You never know where you're going to be when you need it, so it's good to keep it in your car.
I would give someone a tire pressure gauge. A small digital one at the local hardware store is easy to use, allows you to check your tire pressure monthly like you're supposed to.
And for that person who's tough to shop for,
so I would definitely recommend a subscription music service. I use it all the time, whether I'm working on the car or driving the car. Music is the perfect accompaniment.
want to tell your favorite driver that you really care about them? Well, keep them from getting stranded on the side of the road. This is a great gift. Basic roadside assistance plans, they can start around $60 the first year, and they usually include up to 4 to 5 service calls a year. I'm Susan Hogan, News 4.
In News 3 Entertainment here at 622, a Broadway sensation is kicking off its national tour today in D.C.
So prepare to enter the land of Oz as Wicked flies into the Kennedy Center, one of my all-time faves.
Yeah.
The beloved musical is set long before the events of The Wizard of Oz. It follows Elphaba before she is dubbed the Wicked Witch of the West. The story sees her turn her rivalry with Glinda, Galinda, known as Glinda the Good, into the unlikeliest of friendships, and that's until the world calls one good and the other wicked. The musical runs through January 22nd. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
And then, I mean, was it next year, end of next year, we have the movie coming out with Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo.
What a cast.
Should be good.
Well, the day many of us have been waiting for is finally here. Overnight, Netflix released the first 3 episodes of its highly anticipated Netflix docuseries, Harry and Meghan.
Yeah, so it promises to be a bombshell royal tell-all by and about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. The series is set to be delivered in 6 episodes, and it promises to give audiences a deep insight into the royal couple's early relationship. It also follows their version of events that ultimately led to them stepping back as full-time working members of Britain's royal family. Coming up later this morning on Today, NBC's Keir Simmons will be live outside Buckingham Palace. He will break down what we are learning from the series' early episodes and some of the criticism it's also facing. I believe 3 episodes dropped at midnight. Another 3 come out next week, so it's 6 in total. But of course, you know, across the pond, there's going to be people.
Oh, one thing's for sure, everyone's going to have a comment. Yeah, it's just people are going to be talking about it.
But I'm going to have my tea. I'm watching tonight, so I'll let you know what I think. 6:24 is your time. Coming up in the next half hour of News 4 Today, we continue to follow the developing story. A deadly shooting inside the Metro Center station. An off-duty FBI agent pulled the trigger. According to police, we have new video from the moments after the shooting and also what police are telling us this morning.
Plus, the Nationals unveil their exclusive bobbleheads for the upcoming season. We have your first look and when you can get your hands on them. Chuck, how about our weather?
All right, as you're getting ready to get the kids out the door for school this morning, a medium weight coat's probably going to be required. Temperatures are generally in the mid-40s now. It actually won't be that cold of an afternoon. Temperatures back into the low and mid-50s today, but colder air and rain chances are still in that weekend outlook. More about that coming up.
News 4 Today starts now.
Good morning. Welcome to News 4 Today. I'm Jummy Olabanji.
And I'm Un Yang. Heads up if you have an early class at the University of Maryland College Park. Campus will open late at 9:30 this morning due to a significant power outage.
We're told Pepco is on the scene to try to restore the power as soon as possible. But once again, no classes will begin before 9:30 this morning. Let's go ahead and check on the forecast, though. So when you're heading out to campus, you know how to dress.
That's right. Mid-40s, not so cold.
No.
You know, the record low for today's date is 8 degrees. Ooh. So, you know, 40 may not be balmy, but it's a far cry from cold around here.
Thank goodness. My goodness. And back now to our top story this morning, a deadly shooting inside a busy metro station.
One person is dead and a federal officer was taken to the hospital. Juliana Valencia is live from Metro Center in downtown D.C. with the latest. Juliana, good morning.
Hey there, so just think about this. It is rush hour right before 6:30 and riders are on this very platform. When a fight breaks out, you don't know what's going on. You hear all that commotion and then gunshots are fired. Now, we want to show you some video of those moments, but we do want to warn you, some viewers may find this disturbing.
Anybody a doctor? Anybody a doctor? Yeah, know you shot several times.
DC Executive Assistant Police Chief Ashawn Benedict says one man, police say, won't say which one, pulled the other over the barrier wall, a drop of about 8 feet. The FBI agent was taken to a hospital for treatment of minor injuries, and the person he shot died.
Both individuals go off the side of the wall, and that struggle continues. Shots end up being fired during that struggle. Shots were fired, again, by an off-duty FBI veteran special agent assigned to FBI headquarters.
We also heard from a rider who was on a train that pulled up right here as all that commotion was happening, and she described it as terrifying moments, people screaming, and Metro's GM, he praised that Metro train operator because he saw what was happening and just kept going, keeping those passengers safe.
All right, Juliana Valencia live for us. Juliana, thank you.
And stay with News 4 on air and online as this story develops. As new information comes in, we'll update you and send alerts right to your phone through the NBC Washington app.
Alexandria police have upped their presence at Alexandria City High School's Minnie Howard campus this week. And that's because a fight broke out Monday at school, and video captured that scene. Take a look. You can see punches and pushes, profanity used. All this video obtained by Telemundo 44. 3 students were arrested after the fight. No one was seriously hurt. Police tell us they're investigating and could make more arrests. But one store manager who works at a nearby shopping center told us that it's unsettling. His store is where a student was stabbed and killed in that shopping center during a fight earlier this year.
We have customers that don't come for that reason. I have staff here that don't want to stay past dark because they're afraid of what might be happening outside.
The school's principal sent a letter to parents saying they're reviewing the incident and will address the students involved. He said that safety is a top priority.
Prince George's County Public Schools is addressing parents' concerns about fentanyl. Millette Green joins us from the live desk now with the deadly impact this drug is having on the school system. A serious problem here, Millette.
Yeah, it's very disturbing. Over the last 6 weeks, 3 Prince George's County students died from suspected overdoses. The students thought they were taking Percocet, but the pills were actually laced with fentanyl. The first death was a 10th grader at Fairmont Heights High School. The student was found dead at home on October 23rd. A week and a half later, on November 2nd, a middle school student died. Someone found the child outside an apartment building in the county. And last Friday, the 3rd death. A 10th grader at Bladensburg High School died at her home. At a meeting last night, panelists emphasized the importance of talking with kids about drugs.
If you do not discuss that with your kids, the kids will get this information from sources that you don't want them to get.
Yes.
107,000 people died last year, and the numbers are only going up.
Now, the county did note that several students' lives have been saved because of Narcan and naloxone, which can reverse overdoses. Schools are also holding assemblies to discuss the danger of fentanyl with the students. Back to you now.
All right, Millette Green at the live desk. Thanks, Millette.
Today, we could find out the names of the 2 men killed in a shooting in Prince George's County. It happened Wednesday on Route 450 in Bladensburg, right near the Tower of Praise Church International. Police initially responded to reports of a single car crash, and they found 2 men shot inside a black Jeep. Both men died at the scene. Police are asking anyone with information to contact them.
Amazon is facing another lawsuit over claims it withheld tips from delivery drivers. D.C. Attorney General Karl Racine announced Wednesday that his office is suing the e-commerce giant for misleading consumers into thinking drivers were getting tips when instead Amazon was allegedly taking part of that money to reduce its own labor costs and increase profits. This comes more than a year after Amazon settled a lawsuit by the Federal Trade Commission over similar allegations. Amazon agreed to pay $61 million in that suit to compensate for the lost tips. 6:36 now as we wait for baseball in the spring. You know, we still have to get to Christmas. The Nationals unveiled some of the highlights of their upcoming promo schedule.
Yeah, so here's a look at some of the giveaways for the upcoming season. Bobbleheads this year will include pitcher Josiah Gray, Screech the mascot, and the racing presidents Teddy, Abe, George, and Tom as well. The first 20,000 fans through the doors will receive those collectibles when they're handed out. There will also be a fireworks night and different theme nights, as well as a special day for kids. More details are available right now at the Nationals website.
I've collected so many of those over the years. Add to my collection.
Now, for Caps fans out there, the Capitals Winter at the Wharf is taking place today through February 25th. This new fan experience features 3 Caps-themed igloos outside of Cantina Bambina. Each of the igloos fit up to 4 guests, and they will be open when the Wharf Ice Rink is open. Winter at the Wharf will also have viewing parties and Rock the Rink skates. Fans who attend a Rock the Rink skate in Caps gear, jerseys, anything like that, you'll get $5 off your rink admission. And it's a nice rink out there. You're right over the water, great restaurants around.
Very cool.
So check that out.
6:37 now, coming up on News 4 Today, catching more Z's, what a new study says is the trick to getting a better night's sleep.
Plus, we are celebrating veteran reporter Pat Collins as he prepares to retire later this month. Hear from Pat himself coming up after the break.
Well, time is running out on Capitol Hill for the current Congress. Right now, lawmakers face fast approaching deadlines, including one to pass a government funding bill. News 4's Bree Jackson joins us live with what needs to be done to avoid a shutdown next week. Bree, good morning.
Good morning, Anya. Lawmakers must pass a spending bill before December 16th or risk a government shutdown. Democrats want to set the spending agenda and are pushing for a deal that funds the government through next year. Now, while Republicans, they want a short-term deal instead so that they can set spending priorities when Republicans take control of the House next month. The clock is also ticking on authorization of the military's budget. There are holdups over issues including ending the Defense Department's COVID-19 vaccine mandate and funding for Ukraine. Rounding out end-of-year calendar deadlines, the release of the January 6th committee's final report. The committee will offer recommendations and possible legislation to prevent something like the U.S. Capitol attack from happening again. Now, January 6th committee members say that we could see criminal referrals soon. It will be up to federal prosecutors to decide whether to pursue charges.
So News 4's Pat Collins, you know the name. Oh. He's been a favorite of our viewers for decades now. And now the legendary reporter is hanging up his microphone after 50 years of telling stories.
The best ones you've ever seen. He spent 36 of them right here at NBC4. Lucky for us, from crime reporter, storyteller, and snow measurer, of course, Pat has done it all. Someone even suggested his famous snow stick deserves a place in the Smithsonian. Now, that's a great idea. Don't worry, Pat told us a snow stick isn't going anywhere and will continue to show up on News 4. He joined Sean and Jim to talk about his bittersweet news.
Thousands of stories, hundreds of thousands of fans out there.
Yeah, they're very kind. So this is what it's like in the studio.
Oh, don't show our secrets.
Back here.
Sanitizer,
we got everything you need.
Got a little water.
Day-old water.
You know, if I knew it was like this here, I could have done a couple more years.
There you go.
I mean, it's temperature control, there are lights. There's a woman out there to take away a couple of my chins. I'm pretty impressed by this. This is a nice workplace.
Who is this woman, Pat? Yeah. I love how he brought his hat and scarf, though, you know?
Yes.
Classic Pat. He's going to be sticking around until December 21st. During that time, we'd love to hear about your favorite Pat Collins memories. We know you have so many of them. There's just no one like him. He can tell us it's memorable. You know it's going to stick with you.
And even talking to him in the newsroom or on the phone, whatever. Yeah. He has the same cadence and the same, like, zest. He's just unbelievable.
We love you, Pat.
I know, just the best.
But I don't think anyone else can do the snow stick. I mean, that's a Pat thing.
That is a Pat thing.
Somebody else is going to do it.
Here are 4 things to know at 6:55. An off-duty FBI agent shot and killed a man inside the Metro Center station last night. D.C. police say it started with a fight between 2 men. One of the men pulled the other over the platform. The agent suffered minor injuries. D.C. police is leading the investigation.
A Maryland firefighter is among 2 firefighters killed while battling a house fire. Zachary Parrish was battling a fire in Pennsylvania when he and another firefighter became trapped inside the home. They were pulled out, but both later died. Parrish joined the Frederick County Fire Rescue Service in February. He was also a volunteer firefighter in Pennsylvania.
The Loudoun County School Board will hold a meeting today to appoint an interim superintendent. The board fired Superintendent Scott Ziegler Tuesday after a special grand jury blasted the school district's handling of 2 sexual assaults by the same student.
Today, Metro General Manager Randy Clark presents his first budget proposal to the Metro Board. It'll focus on improving service to get riders back on trains and buses at pre-pandemic levels. The public will have a chance to weigh in.
Doesn't look like we'll be needing a snow stick anytime too terribly soon. It's going to be a little chilly around here, but there are no significant chances for snow anytime soon. My guess is even after retirement, we'll still call it the Pat Collins snow stick.
Oh, right, always.
And he can freelance for a blizzard or 2. You know, one little day.
We'll pull our money and bring it back. It's right.
I mean,
we can't afford him.
Today's show up next. Thanks for joining us.
Have a great day, everyone.